Hello, my name's Vanessa. I'm a lightworker and I'm here to help. In this video, I want to talk about the complicated subject of the shadow, and I'm referring to the shadow aspects of ourself. So, for all people, we have a persona. That is the person that we present to the world. In all societies, there are good and bad behaviors, behaviors that are acceptable, and those behaviors that are just absolutely not acceptable. For example, like greed, hatred, violence, things like that. So, those are aspects of us that we are going to suppress and deny. And to the extent of which we suppress and deny, the denser and more powerful this shadow will be and will affect us. All shadow aspects of us are affecting us now. And not only do we have personal, individual shadow aspects, we have collective shadow aspects. And this is the reason for wars, because we see in others what we are not willing to admit in ourselves. We are all born with the capability of feeling all of the emotions, the good ones, the bad ones, and there are parts of us that do feel this way. So, according to Carl Jung, we need to incorporate these parts of ourselves in order to have better control over ourselves and our actions. Sometimes you see this in a person who has seemed normal, you've known them their whole life, you've never seen a violent side of them, and then suddenly they kill their wife. This was a shadow part of them that they repressed so deeply, and that eventually affected their lives. Now, this is an extreme example, but for example, a smaller shadow like greed or something like that, these shadows are still affecting us, whether we are aware of them or not. And we see these shadows in others. So when we are feeling judgment, strong judgment towards another person, that is a representation of a shadow that we have. We are not willing to admit it in ourselves, but it bothers us and pierces us strongly when we see it in others. This is because we do not want to see this side of ourselves. It is so horrifying to us because we are afraid that by embodying this trait that we are going to be considered bad. This is all happening on a subconscious level. That's why I said it's really complicated, but also important, and especially, like I said, when it comes to the collective. So what we do is we can look at a whole other group of people and dehumanize them. And that's what we do every time we put a group of people, especially that we do not know. I mean, we don't know these people. We put them in a group and we label them. And oftentimes, instead of looking inward and seeing our own demons and the things that are wrong with us, we project onto others our fears and we blame them. And this is how wars, wow, I couldn't say that word for a second. Wars are often started. We cannot recognize that we ourselves carry these same traits, and oftentimes it has nothing to do with the person, thus our group, they're a scapegoat for ourselves. So one of the ways that you can identify your shadows is by paying close attention to any fantasies that you have, any sudden strange thoughts that you have, and your judgments towards others. Paying close attention to these parts of yourself, and as they come up, instead of fearfully pushing them back and suppressing them, acknowledge them and try to understand them. For example, I had a shadow of rage that I was not aware of. And once I became aware of rage, this rage inside of me, I wanted to see what was good about it. And what I found was that rage was trying to stick up for me in the fiercest of ways. And that part of me, she could not stand to have her boundaries violated. And so I thanked her for that. And I thanked her for her fierceness in trying to protect us. But then you have to talk to this part of yourself more. And so I said, but we're not going to behave that way. Um, I appreciate you fiercely trying to protect us, but we're safe. Thank you. And so you have to incorporate these parts of yourself, but first acknowledge them. Like I said, we're all capable of the whole range of characteristics, and really to assume that we're not is just trying to fit into the persona that we want to present to the world. I will definitely be making more videos about this. It's a very serious and complex subject, and also so important for us to incorporate and learn about into our lives so we can have a better control over what happens in our lives. I love you so much, and I can't wait to connect to you soon. Thank you.